Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to Grow to Glow at Thashna Walsh Lifestyle Therapy. I am Dr. Thashna Walsh. And if you're here for the first time, or the second time, or the umpteenth time, thank you for being here. Today, I'm going to talk about, ladies, PMT. PMT. Now, I remember growing up hearing about PMT and the mood that women get in when they have PMT. And that mood is real, right? Because I know what that feels like. And what I want to talk about PMT, specifically about PMT, is why I want to speak about it, is because a lot of women use it as an excuse to not, I wouldn't say behave badly, but to almost express any anger or irritation or negativity or limitations that they have within. And I am going to suggest that instead of just letting those irritations just fly out and treating your spouse really badly or somebody at work just getting the brunt of it, or just sitting there and screwing up your face and feeling pretty horrible because the hormones, they do kind of pull you into that way of wanting to be. However, you don't have to be like that. It's a choice. It's a real choice. And there was a guy who taught me this. I remember I was dating this guy and I'd visited him in Spain. And the whole of the weekend I was with him, I was just in a mood. Okay. I was having PMT and I just wasn't feeling great. And the whole world needed to feel what I was feeling. And I was just being a total bitch. Not very nice. When he'd speak to me, I would just like reluctantly like throw an answer back at him if I even answered. And I just remember how awful I felt and how horrible I was actually being. And in myself, I'm telling myself that, okay, he doesn't deserve this, but I don't know how to make myself feel any better. It's just how I feel. And I didn't think I had any control over it. Anyway, he took me to the airport. It's time for me to go home. He took me to the airport. He opened the car door. I opened my own car door. He opened his car door. He went into the boot of the car, took my suitcase out, put it down next to me, closed the boot of the car, got in the car, reversed, and drove away and left me right there. And you know what? It may sound like a horrible thing for somebody to do. I mean, we're not together anymore because, obviously, somebody that did something like that obviously is there to teach me a lesson, right? Um, I did learn the lesson because deep inside myself, I already knew he didn't deserve to be treated like that, but I did it regardless. And from that day onwards, I made sure I learned how to control that feeling that I had. And I recognize also that the feeling that I had nothing to do with the PMT. The PMT just exacerbated the feeling that I had. I was feeling angry. I had a lot of unforgiveness. I was blaming the whole world for everything that I was going through. And now that I felt this PMT, it was just like 5 times worse, right? So the poor guy never stood a chance. I was just shooting him down, ignoring him, and treating him bad because of something that was much deeper than PMT. And I'm talking about this today because I want you ladies to check yourself because yes, I still get PMT now, but I don't treat anybody like rubbish, right? I let people know that I feel this way. However, however, I can still hold conversations and still have fun and still do things normally. I don't just shut down the whole world and shoot everybody that comes across my path because I've learned now to deal with the stuff that were keeping me limited. and keeping me angry and keeping me stuck and just irritable and just not anybody's friend. So I would like to invite you to have a think. What are you like at that time of the month, that week before your period comes on, where you just feel so heavy and so sluggish and so irritable and just moody and sad and whatever emotions that you get, because every month it can be different. And I also noticed that it depends on the foods that you're eating that brings it on. So if you're not eating properly, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, healthy foods, little bit, little to no sugar, because the sugar kind of makes the whole bloated situation worse, makes the inflammation worse, it makes the moodiness and the anxiety and the depression and everything that you feel, it makes it all worse. So just check yourself before you knock anybody out. You know what I mean? Because you'll find that it's not the actual PMT that is the issue, but it's something deeper that we all need to heal from. So if you can be honest with yourself, some of you might roll your eyes, some of you might thinking, yeah, maybe true, or some of you might think, whatever, I don't care. Well, if you don't care, that's fine. But I am not talking to you. I'm talking to someone who actually cares and wants to do something about it because they want to be a better version of themselves every day of the month. Okay? You don't want to be locked down on a whole week in the month going, oh, I feel like rubbish. Okay? So think about if you're one of those people that get like that at the time of the month, and also what you can do about it. So what you can do is make sure you're drinking enough water. If you're not flushing the toxins out of your body, those toxins are going to hang around and they're going to amplify the feelings that you're getting when your hormones heighten at that time of the month. So make sure you're flushing toxins. There is a video that I did about do you need a detox, which is really helpful for the kind of foods that you need to eat, what you need to do to flush toxins. But water is one of the primary things. Eating lots of fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, magnesium. Women over 40, you need Q10 or ubiquinol is another name for that. You need vitamin B, you need a good B complex, you need vitamin D, especially if you're darker skin living in the UK or any country where there's not a lot of sunshine. You're going to need to pump up your vitamin D, vitamin C as well, to make sure that your immune system is properly supported, and zinc to go with it, and lots of water. So 2 liters of water is a recommended daily intake. So if you are like an athlete and you're running and jumping and sweating a lot, sweating buckets, you're going to need more than 2 liters, but you need to check um, how much that is going to be for you. And if you're just sitting at a desk, not doing a lot, and you're quite petite, you might not need as much as 2 liters. But again, check what your daily dosage is. But the average daily intake is 2 liters of water. And also check your thought processes, okay? Because usually things like relationships and also this PMT thing that we're talking about. Um, some people call it PMD, but post-menstrual tension. I mean, premenstrual tension, not post, premenstrual tension or premenstrual disorder. It has a few names, but whatever, whatever you call it, check with yourself what you're thinking, what are the thoughts that are coming up that you feel may be related to the deeper thing that needs working on. Because once you start practicing working on those things, you'll find as well that you're nicer to yourself, which means you're nicer to people. And most people's limitations comes from a lack of self-love because they didn't get the love that they needed when they were younger. Okay, so you grow up feeling that you are not worthy, you're not loved, you're not worthy of the nice things. What you need is not available to you. You're And whatever situation that you grew up in, I don't know what the trauma that you grew through was, but not to belittle anyone's trauma, because all of them are just as significant. That's why they call them trauma. Whatever yours is, no matter what you think it is, it could be just your parents shouted at you when you were 7 years old and told you that you were stupid that one time, and it's kind of followed you through your whole life, making you feel like you're stupid. Or you could have had something much worse happen to you. It's still, as a child, it's affecting us. The hormones that are affecting us are the same. Some are more powerful and more potent, but at the end of the day, they need to be addressed. Okay, if you haven't addressed them, they need to be addressed because they're going to keep you stuck. They're going to keep you being miserable and moany and thinking that you can't be a better version of yourself. And that is not true. You're here for a purpose, to make manifest the goddess inside of you, um, to come through. So check yourself. Is there something deeper going on that needs addressing? And I'm going to tell you that there is, because nobody treats anybody badly, regardless of how much pain they're in, unless they already have some bad vibes inside of them. Okay. And this is not to make anybody feel bad, because you know what? When I'm in a mood, sometimes when things are not going according, sometimes I can snap. I do. I snap. I snap at my partner, I snap at my daughter, I snap at my friends. But I'm working on doing that a lot less. And I do that a lot less than I used to. But every now and again, I get caught out. For example, I went to a restaurant with my friend and my boyfriend the other day, and I was with my granddaughter as well. And we stood on the stairs at this place, and well, it was blocked off the stairs, but my granddaughter, she walked under. She's only 3. She walked under the rope that they put in the way, and she was walking on the stairs. I held her hand to guide her down. This guy came up and he said, "You're not along the stairs, health and safety." And I said, "Okay." So I was guiding her down. She climbed back under, and she was off. Now, before she had done that, there was another person that was there with his daughter, this gentleman was there with his daughter, and they were doing the same thing. They were run up and down the stairs. In fact, they ran all the way to the top, and she ran all the way back down the bottom. And he was just there on the stairs with her, holding, just being there for her. And nobody obviously saw them. Nobody obviously saw them to say anything because they were there for quite some time. Anyway, finished dinner and we paid and we're leaving and we're outside in the garden, and I'm waiting for um, my boyfriend to come out to join us because he went to the toilet to have a pee. And we're outside waiting. So it's my friend visiting from Jamaica, myself, and my granddaughter. And this guy comes out and he goes, "Did you go upstairs and open my door and went into my apartment?" Now I'm just like, huh? What? No. That is exactly how I was. But I sometimes wish I was a little bit more witty. Somebody who was witty would have given a really good answer. But it took me a little while to get down off how irritated, in fact, I was angry, livid that he would ask me that. I'm like, why would I want to go upstairs and go into your apartment? And I was upset and I couldn't let it go. My boyfriend was like, what would you tell your clients if they got so wound up and they couldn't let something go? I mean, I wasn't having PMT at the time, but I was just really wound up. So I can imagine if I was having PMT and in that wound up state, maybe I would have ripped his head off. Perhaps, I don't know. But what I'm saying, I know the feeling of having something and you're just holding on to it, you don't know how to let it go. Because in my opinion, it was just picking on, the color of my skin. Because there were other people that were doing the same thing, and he had walked past several times and he never said anything to them. Um, so that was what angered me. But anyway, I had learned to transmute my metals into gold. So I took my time and I breathed through it. And I recognized that, you know what? This guy, obviously, if he knew better, he would do better, but he doesn't. But I know better. So what am I going to do? What is there to be grateful for? So I found that thing to be grateful for. And I just wrapped him in love. in my mind, I wrapped him in love, and I said, I forgive myself and I forgive you and I love you, and I just let it go. And anyway, I mean, talking about it, and I'm laughing now, but I just remember how livid I was. So sometimes things like that can catch us out. And especially when we're suffering from PMT, we might not be able to separate the two things, but there's always something under it that's making us as irritable, because the hormones are the hormones, right? They make you feel a little bit flat, but you don't have to be miserable. You don't have to be snappy. You don't have to be unkind, right? Because when you're loving on yourself, you do what's right for yourself, which means you do what's right for everyone else. So I'm hoping you're going to find some grace with yourself looking at this, because this PMT and the issue that's that's tangled up with it, that you're calling PMT, is a great opportunity for growth within yourself, to take a step back, to separate the PMT, the hormones rushing around your body, with what you really, really feel angry about, what you really feel upset about, what you really feel irritated about, what's really limiting you, what's making you feel like you're not your best version of yourself. It's not the hormones, it's something else. So let's try to separate the two and see what you come up with. And if you do come up with something and you need some help with that, please send me a message. I will be too happy to help you, because I totally understand what this feels like. And a lot of times your soul finds ways of showing you how to bring up the stuff that you don't want. And for women, it's around this time of the month, it's around the PMT, around your period, when you feel, um, you're not feeling your best and you're being drained. It feels like, all the irritations. Like when somebody's ill, it's the same time. So same thing, somebody can be ill and really graceful. Another person can be ill and just being really horrible. They're shouting at the doctor, shouting at the nurse, shouting at everyone um, who's trying to help and love them. So it's because something is deeper than the pain and the aggravation that they're actually feeling. Um, so when you can love yourself enough to look within and be honest with yourself and find out what that thing is, or look, get the help that you need to separate the two so you can heal your body, you'll find that the PMT doesn't bother you as strongly at all. In fact, you go through the month and you go through your period. Yes, it's annoying. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to embrace mine these days. um, but most women find it an inconvenience. But being grateful, using it as a time to reflect and a time to grow and a time to becoming a better version of yourself, and letting the goddess really come through. Okay, so if you need to know more or need to ask any questions, please either DM me, because I understand this is a very personal thing, so I'm not expecting you to leave comments. You can leave comments if you want, because we're open and free here, or send me a message on Facebook, send me an email, any of those things, so that we can work on these things that are limiting us and making us less of who we are. Yes, it's okay to be angry and to be irritable in moments, but if you're there all the time and you're using PMT or a cold or a flu or whatever, an illness, to make you justify being mean to someone, then there's something else to look at. All right. So sending you lots of love, lots and lots and lots of love, because I know this is a very sensitive topic, excuse me, a sensitive topic. But really try to go within and really be honest with yourself, because until we can be honest with ourselves, we can't really grow, we can't move, we stay stagnant, and we can't get anywhere. And I know there's a better version of you in there that wants to come out. So let's get her out. Okay. So send me a message and I look forward to speaking with you. In the meantime, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also like the video if you think it's good. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. And until next time, as usual, stay light and stay bright. And I'm sending you a big hug, especially if you're going through that right now. Bye.